Hello, everybody. It's your favorite gorilla here. I thought we'd do a review of the first episode of the 100. It actually is a pretty interesting show here. We start out with Clark just sitting there drawing in a little cell on the Ark when the 100 kids, they're ranged from 16 to 17, somewhere around there, they are all getting sent to Earth. There, we do find out in this episode that the Ark is dying. They're sending them Earth, and the reason that the kids are getting sent, the reason it's kids getting sent to Earth, is because they all committed a crime. We do find out that there's only one punishment on the Ark for any crime, which is death when you're floated. So they're all getting sent put into a little drop ship there, and there you can tell these kids aren't too smart because they decide to unbuckle themselves as they're free falling to Earth. So, yep, two of them die there, and the one thing is, oh, you can tell there's a bunch of teenagers landing on there because the first words after returning to Earth is, "We're back, bitches." I mean, you could come up with something a little bit more thoughtful, but hey, what do you expect out of a teenager? So anyhow, two of the kids die on impact because they're dumb shits and decide to decide to unbuckle themselves. But then you can tell they're all sitting there partying and happy and all that, and there's only two of them taking their situation seriously. That'd be Clark and um, Chancellor's son. I can't remember his name right off the top of my head, but they're the only ones taking it seriously. And it's Clark realizing they dropped him on the wrong damn mountain, 20 miles from where they were supposed to be. Oh, God, I remember having to walk 20 miles a couple of times. I'll tell you, that's not fun. At least my trip was a lot easier than theirs. They had to go uphill both ways and cross rivers and through the woods all the way on to Mount Weather. At least mine was on a tarred road. That's a little hilly, but pretty much flat. But anyhow, so they're all partying and that out there, and they end up five of them end up starting walking because the rest are think, oh, they don't need to go get food, not thinking ahead, and so they're all kind of heading out. And you get these back and forth scenes between the Ark and the underground, and between the campsite and the five that went off there. We then find they're up there in the Ark. They're sitting there examining the bracelets, which is actually kind of not a bad idea, but I think they should have kind of planned ahead there, not make them so easily removable, because they were able just to remove them with a quick crept back and forth with a knife. But as they're walking through the woods, you kind of notice a noticeable absence of animals, which is kind of eerie. And Clark points that out, but then they see a deer and they're all sitting there amazed. Then you get the oh shit when the deer looks at you, and there it has two heads on it, just creepy as hell looking. I mean, they did a good job CGIing that onto the deer, but anyhow, then they finally find a river. They kind of point out, they Clark was thinking ahead on this. The rest weren't. When you're like, there's not supposed to be a river here, and then but Octavia has to strip down to a bra and underwear there. All of a sudden, all the guys, oh, let's forget what Clark's saying, and they got this. Then all of a sudden, as Octavia's just taking a swim there, all of a sudden this big old huge eel comes out of the water there and bites her, and is like, holy crap! I I thought that's pretty cool having a giant eel in the river, but that's my thought. But anyhow, they continue walking around, and at the campsite, there, the chancellor's son's refusing to take his bracelet off as everybody else is taking him off, and because they do not want the people come down the ark because they've all committed crimes and they don't believe them that their crimes would be forgiven. So, but anyhow, as they're walking, as so there's big. They're all partying, ripping off their bracelets, and they're panicking up in the ark why everybody's dying down there. Then it goes back to Clark and the group there. I thought it was pretty cool that they had the glowing forest. I actually wonder if radiation would do that to like a forest after 100 years, just have it kind of all glowing and all that. We might actually have that here on Earth. I'm not sure if we do have like a glowing forest at the moment or not. But anyhow, they're all making wonders about the forest there. Then we get another oh shit moment at the end there when they swing across another river that they came across, and uh, Jasper there fine. He's the first one to swing across because he wants to impress Octavia. Okay, and he swings across and he finds a sign for the Mount Weather. Then they're all cheering. They finally made it. Finally made it. Which then all of a sudden he was hit with with a big old spear. I mean, spear, and that's when and then everybody just quick hiding, wondering what the hell's going on, and that's when the episode fades to black. Overall, I thought this was a wonderful episode. It's a good start to a show and all that. I think overall, I think I would give it. I'd probably give it about 8 out of 10. I really like it. Other people's don't like it. I've heard some people say it's woke. I've heard it. I didn't see that it's woke. I just seen some just because a woman took charge. Doesn't mean that it's woke. But overall, I think it's a really good episode. Really good start to a season. Everybody, but except one person I've talked to, all said they've seen the show, said they've liked it. But we'll see how my opinion, what I think of episode 2 there. So everybody, you guys sit there and you have a good night, and just remember to be a gorilla.